I'm up over $18,000 day trading live, and I'm up over $69,000 in the last 2 days day trading. And today, I'll be talking about the trade I took today, my bias, my insight, my look, and the trade itself. Let's get into it. So, a pretty productive day in the market. Here was the trade. It was a NQ short that we ended up taking off an idea in the Discord. If you're curious real quick about the trade that we ended up taking yesterday, which would be 51K, today making 18,000, I ended up taking a 15-minute fair value gap go invert. We ended up seeing a hourly high, I believe, if I remember correctly, getting put in, right? I ended up taking a 15-minute gap go invert right here. You see me mention it, shorting this 15-minute gap setup, hourly gap rebalance rejection, then the 5 and 15-minute gap invert. MSS idea, the high being put in, and good displacement, two main concepts for the MSS. So we take the trade, hourly gap filled, stop place off the hourly gap. Then we see price come back down here, and we eventually hit all take profits on the trade overnight. Took a bit of time, but it happened. Very good trade. In terms of today coming into the open, here was the bias set in place. Bias, my draw target off the open, is favoring London lows. That would be the opening range move. Based on the reaction, we either confirm downside 24,217 an ES 65.37, or we confirm reversal and trade back into range. The hourly time frame rebalance off its gap, and now rejecting through New York. Let's see what open gives us. So in the visual, you can clearly see me mention the idea of price running into London lows. Not one time today did I expect price not to run into London lows. So we wanted to see price come down here, and the reaction off the low would kind of give a narrative behind what price wanted to do. But in recent markets, what we've been doing, I feel, is sometimes the opening range move is the only move we get for the entire session. So for today, I'm starting up streams a bit earlier, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually start at 9:45 a.m. because I wait for the opening range move to happen and then we trade. But today started at 9:30, and what we were able to do is kind of take a trade anticipating the opening range move, knowing that price as of recent has been horrifying through past the open in New York. What we did today was, instead of waiting for the opening range move entirely, we simply tried to predict it and anticipate it. So the trade that we ended up taking today was coming off our buys like we talked about. We also had an hourly gap retest, rebalance, and see a good rejection coming back down. The one upside that we did have was that we ended up seeing PDL, previous day low, get taken out, but we had tons of downside Confluence kind of overriding it. And here it is. Overnight bearish sentiment, obviously through Asia and London combined. You see the sentiment in the market creating a lower high and just trading lower in general. Then you have your hourly gap reject like we talked about. New York open bearish sequence. So off the open, we see a very displacive 5-minute bearish gap. And then we see London lows wide open here as well. So although we took out PDL, we have our overnight lows sitting right here wide open in the case that price wanted to draw into. So through higher time frame and through overnight and through the open of New York, we see that price is clearly, favoring downside through Confluence. The only bullish Confluences that we had was that the fact that the PDL was taken, and the fact that we had bullish SMT off March 8th lows. So what I mean by that is, if you go to the hourly time frame, you can see that these March 8th lows on NQ were not taken out, and we're still creating a higher low here, as opposed to ES, where they've already taken out, right? The asset's already taken out its lows. So, excuse me. March 8th right here, taken out, boom, shakalaka. You see price come back down here. We see an initial reaction, but then we come back down again. And so for NQ here specifically, with that SMT in mind, with the PDL taken, there was still a chance of reversal. There was still a chance of price coming back up. However, the downside Confluence here clearly outweighed. And once we had seen price kind of come back up here, retest, and see a 1-minute gap rebalance, and then ascend back down off the rejection, I felt it was very clear as day that price most likely would like to trade lower. So you see me mention essentially here 1-minute gap rejected. And if we see this retrace get rejected as well off this gap, should see a move now. We don't want to consolidate off the New York open again. So you see price here essentially, with our Confluences, We have a 1 minute gap here, which is very displacive. We see the CE, the midpoint, which is one of my favorite parts of a gap, get rejected, and you see the candle be equally, if not more aggressively engulfing than the sequence buy back up, if that makes sense. So we buy up here, but this one sell candle here is essentially a 1 minute candle that mitigates 4 to 5 minutes of bullish data here, which is something you want to see, right? You want to see in the direction of your trade price be more aggressive than the opposing direction. So we end up waiting for a 1 minute gap tap here. A simple rejection is a trade that we end up taking, and you see me again mention should see a move now. Boom, we end up taking that, going risk-free near letter lows. We then see price come down here, and we see price ultimately hit take profit. Our take profit two off this trade happened to be 24,217 as an area of draw, again mentioned in the bias, but we end up getting trailed out of this position on runners for a TP1 trade at the swing high right here. But now we're just very consolidated, very choppy. So I have no interest trading this. I think we caught the move of the day, and looking at price now ever since, we just have not done anything. So hopefully that is helpful. Again, everything was pre-planned, everything was determined, and all taken live, obviously, which was good. And that's the session for you. Again, another shitty session. I will say price is not good overall because it's currently 11:47 p.m. We're approaching lunch hour. So we're about 2.5 hours into the market being open, and we still have not done much. All we've done is take out a London low. That's all we've done. But it's been clear because we were able to more so get a good gauge of a higher time frame price and just slow everything down and just go back to that 1 and 0 mindset. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the review. Catch you guys in the next one.